Whenever you see a witch being chosen as a chairman of any group, then be sure that that group consists of witches. Because if you are not a witch, why are you choosing a witch?
A witch.
So if your group is being led by a witch, then you are a witch because you chose this person. You're comfortable with being led by a witch. And so, before you even complain that a witch is our leader, how did he get into that position?
Our leader is a reflection of who we are.
Yes. Like right now, I'm looking at the political composition of this country, and I wonder if we are even going to make a difference. Because you look at the formations of the politicians that we are being presented by as an option of choosing. I look at the president and his team. I look at the opposition. Then I scratch my head and wonder, where is, in whose hands are we safe?
In whose hands are we safe?
Because I look at what the government is selling. The government is talking about unity, broad-based government, inclusivity, bringing everyone together, as if that is our problem. Then I look at what we in the opposition are selling. We are selling the united opposition. We are also selling the same thing the government is selling. So who is selling a better unity than the other? Is that really our problem? Is unity our problem? In this country, politicians make us feel like we are divided. We are not. Our problems are far away from unity. And if we are being divided, what is it that is dividing us? When I look at ODM celebrating 20 years, I ask myself, what are we really celebrating? What have we achieved so far? Are we in a place where we say that yesterday we were at a bad place and today we are better off? When I see the president moving around, campaigning as if the election is tomorrow, then I ask myself, at what time will we ever achieve the Kenyan dream? And I look at the president, and some people are saying, we are being divided along two lines, that you are either one term or two term. But I tend to think about it. If it's one term, then how are we going to live after achieving the dream of one term? After getting rid of the current leadership, how are we going to behave in the next leadership? What's the agenda of the people who are yearning to replace the leadership that is in place? If it's two-term, how are we going to live through that two-term? It doesn't just end there. You can take a chicken, pluck all its feathers. You can imagine the pain the chicken could be going through. But when you start throwing mahindi, grains, you see that chicken starts following you. It forgets the pain and follows the grains. That is how we've been treated in this country for a very long time. And I think we have been chickens being plucked, but we keep following the grains. Kenyans should start thinking about what really is the role of government and what is our role as the people. When they start thinking about what is the role of government, they will start understanding what is their place in that role. Like, for example, when a government builds a stadium, we need to, before we even celebrate that the stadium has been built, what is it for? In countries that are developed, the way we are being told that we want to be the Singapore of tomorrow, who are the people building stadia in Singapore? Is it government or the private sector?
Private sector.
When you see a stadium in London, it belongs to a certain team. When you see a stadium in Kenya, it's being built by government. when you ask who are the people that will be in that stadium, what actions do we expect from it? Are we going to use it to nurture talents and create academies so that we can now develop the people? That answer doesn't really come out clearly.
It's not there.
It's not there. When a government says, we are building maize, we are planting maize in Galana Kulalu, they take pictures of the maize as it's growing, but they never take pictures of the harvest.
Which they were supposed to be harvesting this year, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
After harvesting, where does the grains go? So someone is using public resources to plant on public land. But then again, those grains will find themselves in the market being sold to the public. And we celebrated when the pictures of food grown in Galana was being taken. So, how do we change this? I think we should think about the role of government. My own thinking, a government should just be a regulatory body, doing things that cannot be trusted in the hands of the private sector, like guarding our borders, ensuring quality, licensing. Before you handle a firearm, a government must check. It must not be a profit-making entity. But we have let it happen. And this coming election presents an opportunity for us to rethink and come up with a country that we will be proud to be in the next 50 years. Majority of the politicians that we have, they think about the next election. I do not think there is anyone who thinks about the next generation. And if we keep on thinking about the next election, that you can even jeopardize the security of the country just because you want to win an election. Right now, anyone can be given an ID in this country, provided you can vote.
Yes.
So if in 30 years, we start dealing with the repercussions of their actions today, the person who is perpetrating those actions will not be in power will not even be in government. They will have amassed enough money to live en masse. What about us who stay here? And Kenyans must think and know that whenever anything fails, it's us who loses. If public health does not work, who loses? The people. If education is not working, it's the people. If the leaders that we have chosen, the children don't go through our education system.
No, they don't.
So when you hear that students have been out of school for a whole semester, whose children are those?
Kenyans.
Do we have a member of parliament's child out of school for a semester? No. But you still clap for that person who is making these things happen? I mean, we need to think for ourselves. When we deal with the issue of odious debt, and in a whole Uhuru's regime, the money approved by parliament to be borrowed was only 2 trillion. So when we talk about sovereign debt, in 10 years of Uhuru's regime, Kenyans only borrowed
2 trillion.
But in a real sense, he borrowed 8. So when we deal with this issue of odious debt, we can provide education free. Internally, we have borrowed 6 trillion, which means the government's borrowing from these banks, from the pension funds. If that ceases to happen, and government is not borrowing from these banks, the banks will have no option but to come to you and say, when you come out of church on Sunday, there is a tent of all these banks. So it's you to walk around and check which one has the best favorable interest. You will see banks pitching tents in marketplaces, telling you to take loan. Right now they cannot. Why? They have a very big customer called government. So when the government borrows very much in the local market, takes away the the credit from the people. You saw the other day my party leader said among the top 10 companies that made profit the last financial year, 8 are banks. And one is a brewery and the other one is Safaricom. So ni pombe, Safaricom na banks. So we need to, Kenyans need to understand, how do banks make profit? By loaning their money. We are talking about more than 600 billion non-performing loans, which means Kenyans are not in position to pay for the loans they took. They are not even taking loans, but still banks are making profit. So how are they doing this? Because they have only one single customer. So when we deal with this over-borrowing by government in the local market, we will take money back to the pockets of the people. People can now afford the basics. I had a story, someone saying that someone showed up at a lodge with 3,000. So he gives the cashier for a room the 3,000, then goes upstairs to the room that he's been told. As he goes upstairs, the cashier slips out of the hotel to run to the butcher guy, to pay the debt of 3,000 for the meat he took for the guests. So he comes back. When the butcher guy gets the 3,000, he runs very fast to the owner of the goat, who gave it to him on debt, and pays the 3,000 to the owner of the goat. Immediately the owner of the goat gets the 3,000, he runs to the agrovet to pay for the vaccination of the goats, which he borrowed for 3,000. As he comes back, the owner of the agrovet runs to the lodge to pay for the room he used without paying. So 3,000 has solved debt around. It has come back to the lodge, but all these people have remained with nothing in their pockets. They are waiting to borrow again tomorrow. And that's how Kenyans are living. You get your salary at the end of the month, you pay rent, you calculate for fare, you pay mama mboga hapo nje, you pay mtu wa duka. 5 days after your salary comes in, you are borrowing again. And Kenyans could think that when we talk about debt, it's only about government. No, we are also surviving on debt. You realize that at the end of the month, when you earn 25,000, the debt is almost 10,000.
Right.
So when you pay that, you can only survive on the other, on debt 15 or the other month. So
mido nacheza mdhamini si nakaona dai moshi tazivuta vuta, limit ya fuliza imeongezeka nkoma, neza shika jag na kanudu fie, nacheza kiroro, neza fika soko, turirime mdagi meditation naki, shusha kibandaski cha podonde, neza rada nama vuta izoma.